The Monetary Policy Committee reviewed the macroeconomic developments and the outlook over the course of the past 2 days, that is 2nd and 3rd April, and in its meeting today, it voted by a 4:2 majority to reduce the policy repo rate by 25 basis points and to maintain a neutral stance of monetary policy by a 5:1 majority.
One, the RBI wants to accommodate extra demand for credit in the economy, which is good. Two, the RBI is confident that the banking system will be able to proceed with resolution of bad loans. Three, this is going to be a long struggle. Merely slashing the policy rate by 50 basis points will not suddenly turn the taps on for potential borrowers.
To summarize, global growth is slowing down, and this is also reflected in 3 successive downward revisions made by the IMF in its projection of global growth for 2019. Domestic GDP growth is also estimated to slow in 2018-19, with high frequency indicators suggesting slackening of urban and rural demand as well as investment activity.
See, India's growth has been actually held back thanks to a low investment domestically. This is private corporate investment has been held back for a variety of reasons, regardless of global investment and global growth. India runs a current account deficit. So net exports is not the most dynamic segment of our GDP. It is actually domestic investment and domestic consumption. Now, consumption has been okay, but investment has been, say, some 6 percentage points below what it has achieved during the first decade of the century. If we can revive this process of the private sector coming into large infrastructure projects once again, you must know that today it's only the government that does this. We will see investment picking up and going back to much higher levels in the mid-30s as a percent of GDP. And once we see that, you'll see growth reviving, regardless of what happens to the global economy.
Now you have reduced interest rates by 50 basis point in 2 months, but banks are not responding. I mean, banks have only reduced by 5 basis point, 10 basis points. So your entire effort to boost growth by interest rate cut will not happen if banks don't cut.
I answered that the rate cut, the liquidity infusion, and all these things have to be done in totality.
And this has several reasons. Primarily, this is because right now we have a huge bad loan problem that the banks have. And this is making them very, very cautious about fresh lending, very, very cautious about renewing existing loans and all that. So you don't want to lower your income by reducing interest costs. You'll try to resist it. Secondly, you have a highly stunted, segmented credit market. Your bond market is next to nothing, dominated essentially by the government. Private bonds are very little, and most of them take place through private placements. You don't have an actively traded corporate bond market. Now, an active bond market is actually the biggest guarantor of transmission of policy rate changes. Now, unless you tackle these issues, it is very difficult to suddenly wake up one morning and have the RBI's policy change being reflected automatically into lending behavior by the banks.
In the light of Honorable Supreme Court order, the Reserve Bank of India will take necessary steps, including issuance of a revised circular as may be necessary for expeditious and effective resolution of stressed assets. The RBI stands committed to maintain and enhance the momentum of resolution of stressed assets and adherence to credit discipline.
So what the Supreme Court has said is that the IBC, the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, is fine. The RBI's ability to direct banks to proceed to IBC is fine. But the manner in which the February 12th circular was issued, a generic directive to proceed with insolvency proceedings against a number of defaulting loans, That is a problem because 35AA makes it dependent on the RBI, dependent on a government directive to initiate this process against a particular specific case. Now, this, to my mind, is a flaw in the law itself. Once you have given the RBI the authority to regulate banks and entrusted with resolving regulatory issues in banking and improving the entire credit process, how can you suddenly require the government to come in between and issue specific directives to proceed with the insolvency of specific bad loans? So that is a law defect that has to be amended. So the RBI is confident that they will do comply with the law as it stands, and hopefully once the government is formed again, then Hindu Lok Sabha is in a position to legislate, the deficiency in the law will be removed.